today's session will be hosting by Raisa. And without further ado, I will hand over to Raisa to guide the session. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Innal hamdalillah nahmaduhu wa nasta'inuhu wa nastahdihi wa nastaghfiruhu wa na'udzu billahi min syururi anfusina wa min sayyiati a'malina. Man yahdihillahu fala mudilla lahu wa man yudlil fala hadiya lahu. We praise Allah as He has allowed us to live and worship Him in these times of distress. We ask Him for forgiveness for our sins in the past and our sins in the future. I ask Him that He forgives us and myself and allows us to live in the most sinless life possible. I ask Him that He allows us to live long and healthy lives and allows us to live in peace from diseases such as coronavirus and allow our family to have the same treatment. My name is Raisa. I'm 12 years old. And I'm in year 8. I will be your moderator for the talk today. Before we start, we will listen to Quran recitation. May Allah bless our event today. I would like to introduce Hilma, who is going to recite the Quran for us. Hilma, please begin.
Yeah, thank you so much, Raisa. Jazakallah khairan. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Everyone, my name is Hilma, and I'm going to recite the Quran today. Inshallah, I will recite Surah Fatir, ayah number 19 till 30. And inshallah, I will start. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. وما يستوي الأعمى والبصير ولا الظلمات ولا النور ولا الظل ولا الحرور وما يستوي الأحياء ولا الأموات إن الله يسمع من يشاء وما أنت بمسمع من في القبور إن أنت إلا نذير إنا أرسلناك بالحق بشيرا ونذيرا وإن من أمة إلا خلا فيها نذير وإن يكذبوك فقد كذب الذين من قبلهم جاءتهم رسلهم بالبينات وبالزبر وبالكتاب المنير ثم أخذت الذين كفروا فكيف كان نكير ألم تر أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء ألم تر أن الله أنزل من السماء ماء فأخرجنا به ثمرات مختلفا ألوانها ومن الجبال جدد بيض وحمر مختلف ألوانها غرابيب سود ومن الناس والدواب والأنعام مختلف ألوانه كذلك إنما يخشى الله من عباده العلماء إن الله عزيز غفور إن الذين يتلون كتاب الله وأقاموا الصلاة وأنفقوا مما رزقناهم سرا وعلانية يرجون تجارة لن تبور ليوفيهم أجورهم ويزيدهم من فضله إنه غفور شكور صدق الله العظيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Not equal are the blind and the seeing, nor are the darknesses and the light, nor are the shade and the heat. And not equal are the living and the dead. Indeed, Allah causes to hear whom He wills, but you cannot make hear those in the graves. You, O Muhammad, are not but a warner. Indeed, we have sent to you the truth as a bringer of good tidings and a warner. And there was no nation but that there had passed within it a warner. And if they deny you, then already have those before them denied. Their messengers came to them with clear proofs and written ordinances, and with the enlightening scripture. Then I seized the ones who disbelieved, and how terrible was my reproach. Do you not see that Allah sends down rain from the sky, and we produce thereby fruits of varying colors? And in the mountains are tracts, white and red of varying shades, and some extremely black. And among people and moving creatures and grazing livestock are various colors similarly. Only those fear Allah from among His servants who have knowledge. Indeed, Allah is exalted in might and forgiving. Indeed, those who recite the book of Allah and establish prayer and spend in His cause out of what we have provided them, secretly and publicly, can expect a profit that will never perish, that He may give them in full their rewards and increase for them of His bounty. Indeed, He is forgiving and appreciative. Jazakumullah khairan, and I will send over to Raisa.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you, Sister Hilma. May Allah increase our iman and add to our rewards for listening to the Quran recitation. Now we are going to go to the main part of the event, which is the lecture. So allow me to introduce our speaker, Dr. 𝙺𝚕𝚊𝚖𝚒, who is going to give us a talk about the roles of the Ulama or Islamic scholars in the independence of the Republic of Indonesia. Ustaz with PhD in Pemikiran and Pendidikan Islam at the Universitas Ibnu Khaldun, Bogor. He is married with 4 children. Currently, he works as the Deputy Head of Research Commission at Indonesian Muslim Scholars Association and also is a founder and lecturer in many Islamic education institutions. Please start your talk, Uncle Wooden. You have 40 minutes to deliver your lecture and I will follow with a question and answer session. If anyone has any questions, type it in the chat box and I will read it out at the end, or you may raise your hand after the lecture.
Thank you very much, Raisa Adiani. Yang kami hormati Ketua KIBAR dan seluruh pengurusnya, kemudian juga Bapak Duta Besar jika hadir dalam pertemuan hari ini, and also all of college which is available and join this valuable meeting this afternoon. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Uhayyikum jami'an bitahiyatil Islamil khalidah wa tahiyatul Islami salam. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin wa bihi nasta'inu ala umurid dunya waddin. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah wa ashhadu anna Muhammad Rasulullah. Allahumma fasalli wa sallim wa barik ala sayyidina Muhammad sayyidil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in amma ba'du. Before I am starting, please for the screen sharing permission in order to me to be able to present my lecturing. So our topic today is the roles of ulama or Islamic scholar, and of course we are talking about the history, and talking about the history we need to be very scientific in this because it is very important, yeah, and it is very valuable information, especially for the new generation of Indonesia, which is hopefully they will be the next leader in the future. So I want to start with this slide. Yeah, Islam versus colonialism. I started with this slide because Islam never permit any kind of colonialism, because Islam is a peace religion. So in fact, yeah, before centuries ago in Indonesia, yeah, before we call it Nusantara, many people already visit Nusantara, yeah, or Indonesia since beginning. So it's not something new, yeah, like India, Arab, and China, even from Europe itself, but commonly it's not exclusive and do not have intention and didn't have intention to colonize. Their presence didn't end by many missionaries, which of course disturbed majority belief by that time, where Hindu Buddha already convert to Islam. Yeah, and this is the reason why many war against them happen all over Nusantara. The second slide, yeah, we are talking about the war character, yeah, in the Nusantara previously. At least there were two kinds of war by that time. Yeah, first, resistance and fight lead by Islamic scholar directly, or get Islamic scholar involved by the king of the Islamic kingdom by that time. Second, resistance and fight lead by motivation, jihad fisabilillah, against infidel from Portuguese or Netherlands. The involvement of Islamic scholar were signs that those wars were supported by local people and that Islamic scholar is the real people's leaders. People can only be easily moved by the instructions of Islamic scholars by that time. Without Islamic scholars, any rulers can only be moved their official armies only without supporting local people. Many big power by that time came from Muslim from Aceh to Papua. This is the reason why several wars, such as led by Sisingamangaraja XII in North Sumatra, is also supported by Muslim people. In Bali, in fact, many small kings in Bali already previously cooperated with VOC or Hindia Belanda since a long period. Many Bali people is sent by purpose to be VOC soldiers. So if we found there were several resistance and fight come from Bali, relatively it is related to conflict between rulers, between rulers. So now, talking about the contribution of Islamic scholar for the independence of Indonesia, we are talking about the struggling. We are talking about the war, and I'm dividing the kind of war into two periods. The first period is war before 19th century, and second, the war after 19th century. So for the first portion, war before 19th century, its characteristic are it is led by Islamic kingdom rulers, or the king, by consent and approval from Islamic scholar who were given a big portion to get involved in the decision of the king. Example, the decision of Raden Fatah against Portuguese, and then the decision of Sultan Agung against VOC. Civil war between local people always occurred by the politic strategy of VOC, divide et impera. And because originally VOC intention is trading as a company. Example, fight between Sultan Hasanuddin and Arupalaka in South Sulawesi, in between Makassar and Bone. Okay, now we are talking about several samples war before 19th century, which is led by the devout Muslim, or even by the Islamic scholar, or supported by Islamic scholar. Firstly, the struggling of Raden Fatah from Demak. So Demak by the time gave full support to Sunan Gunung Jati. It is Ulama, to expand Islamic authority to Banten in west of Java. By that time, local rulers which do not accept Islam, cooperate with Portuguese to fight against Demak. In 1522, on 1522, they set up a station to block Muslim army, and they lost because the army of Demak and Sunan Gunung Jati were tougher. And during 1523 and to 1524, Sunan Gunung Jati succeed to grab Banten. Now you know that Banten be a province, and reject any peace agreement proposal with Portuguese in 1527. Bravely, in 1552, Sunan Gunung Jati also succeed expanding dakwah in Cirebon, and then establish strong Islamic ruler there. So in this case, we know now how Sunan Gunung Jati action. And then we go to the Ternate. There are Sultan Khairun and Sultan Bahabullah. Sultan Khairun bin Bayanullah is the 23rd Ternate leader, or 20th leader from his mother, who is coming from Java. Sultan Khairun, he is a devout Muslim. he rejected the proposal of Portuguese to deliver Ambon, Buru, and Seram islands to them. Then he was killed by Governor Lopez de Mesquita, who invite him to visit his fortress. So this is sneaky ways, these sneaky ways, how the governor killed Sultan Khairun by invitation. So that's why this story led the anger of local people against Portuguese under the new leader, Sultan Ba'abullah bin Khairun, his son. And in 1575, Sultan Ba'abullah led all Maluku people against Portuguese in a long period enough, 5 years war, until Portuguese get lost and went out Maluku. Yes, so the winner is Sultan Ba'abullah by that time. And Sultan Ba'abullah invigorate big jihad. According to source from Spain, under his leader, under the leader of Sultan Ba'abullah, he could mobilize 2,000 kora-kora, kora-kora, like small ships, and 120,000 soldiers by that time. So we can imagine how big the military sources of Sultan Ba'abullah from the Ternate. And then we are talking about the Sultan Agung coming from Mataram. Sultan Agung Prabu Hanyokrokusumo is the leader of Kesultanan Mataram between 1613 to 1645. Under his leadership, the influence of Mataram covering nearly all Java Island. Since 1614, VOC, which started from Ambon, sent ambassador to cooperate with Sultan Agung, but he, of course, fully reject this proposal. Even though in 1618 Mataram get crop valor, he still keep his rejection to VOC. In 1619, while VOC succeed to grab Jakarta, today we call it Jakarta, Jakarta area. Before VOC centered in Ambon, but now they are grab Jakarta, and by the time they changed its name to Batavia, and since then VOC moved from Ambon, as is its previous center, to Batavia. Even though Mataram centered in Yogyakarta, Sultan Agung sent armies from Jogja to Batavia, walked 500 kilometers to against VOC in Batavia. Even though many people get sick, and they could win against VOC, also the second chance, but we learn how brave and how serious Sultan Agung to fight against colonialism. And then we go to Banten, where there is Sultan Ageng Tirtayasa. He led Kesultanan Banten during 1651 to 1683. Sultan Ageng had a big vision to be the biggest Islamic kingdom in Nusantara. He started his effort in economy aspect by opening new farms and irrigation. Also, he appointed Sheikh Yusuf Al-Makassari as Mufti, and then together with him increase the Islamic education quality. In 1651, after he was appointed as Sultan, he fight against VOC in Batavia, and big war in 1656 until VOC proposed peace agreement in 1959. The same model, the same method from the colonialism, divide et impera, VOC then using this old method. VOC support Sultan Haji by the time, son of Sultan Ageng, against his father. At the end, in 1683, Sultan Ageng was arrested by VOC and died in prison of Batavia in 1695, while we know Sheikh Yusuf Al-Makassari was exiled to Tanjung Harapan, Afrika Selatan, the place where he died 16 years later. So this is the assumption picture of the Sheikh Yusuf Al-Makassari, and this is the picture of Cape Town, Africa. And in this place, we will find any signs of da'wah of Islam, where the founder of da'wah here is coming from Indonesia. It is he is Sheikh Yusuf Al-Makassari. Yeah, and in the picture above, there are written there Indonesia's heritage corner. Yeah, so there are heritage. Yeah, we give to Cape Town, Africa, and it's the history behind that is the exile process. Yeah, of our ulama. Yeah, okay, and then we go to Makassar. There are Sultan Hasanuddin. Sultan Hasanuddin is the second son of Sultan Malikus Said, the 15th king of Goa. He led fight against VOC because the colonialism and because VOC increased the supporting people by spreading Christianism. So we know that by that time, Islam is the biggest religion in Indonesia, because all over Hindu and Buddha ummah, they what is it? They went what is it? They moved to Islam religion, yeah, because the beauty of Islam itself. And by the time VOC come with colonialism and also spreading the Christianism, so it leads fights, yeah, between Muslim to them. Then VOC in Ambon getting problem because the struggling is very hard. So they get supported armies from Batavia under Cornelis Pilman, supported by Captain Jonker. It is from Ambon, and Arupalaka, his King Bone. And then this coalition army succeed to weaken the defense of Bona until the fortress of Sombaupo lost in 12 June 1669. And Sultan Hasanuddin died in 12 of June 1670. After that, many Makassar people hijrah to Banten, to Surabaya, to support Muslim fight against VOC, yeah, such as supporting Trunajaya, etc. Okay, this is the story about the war before 19th century. And now we are talking about the war after 19th century. The characteristic of the war after 19th century that it is fully led by Islamic scholar. Why? Because we know that Islamic kingdom already weak, yeah, by the politic used by Netherlands, by David and Emperor. So there are no more Islamic kingdom who has more power now, and even the Netherlands changed, yeah, the administration model, where the king now be like we call it bupati, yeah, like the chief of the small region, yeah, we call it bupati, yeah, under governor, yeah. So this the design of colonialism, and this is the result of the colonialism and the impact to the Islamic kingdom by that time. So now there are no more mover from the king. So who now lead the struggling in Indonesia? So now this is the time for the ulama, Islamic scholar by this time. Okay, now we are talking about several area which we can identify, yeah, how Muslim very brave, yeah, struggling against Netherlands. The first is Aceh War. We know there are Tengku Cik Ditiro here. His original name is Muhammad Saman. Yeah, he is a devout Muslim since his early education in pesantren. after Haji, where he met many Islamic leaders from around the world, he went back to Aceh to fight against colonialism. So I want to inform you that in the colonialism era, Haji is not only for praying, but also it is time to consolidate, to meet each other between the leader of struggling of Muslim army all over the world by that time. So they meet in the biggest conference in Mecca, yeah, and they go back with the new spirit to fight against colonialism by that time. So in May 1881, Muhammad Saman succeed to grab Fortress Lambaro, Fortress Anak Galong, and others fortress. Yeah, so very nice the effort of Tengku Cik Ditiro in Aceh. And VOC used cunning strategy. Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, something like this by deliver poisonous food to him, and then he eat that food and he died in January 1891 while he was still in Anak Galong Fortress by that time. All of his descendants also were killed. Yeah, the last of his descendants is a young man, 20 years old. Yeah, he were killed as well. Yeah, so there are no more descendants of Tengku Cik Ditiro. So then the war also led by many Muslims, such as a woman. Yeah, there are a woman. We know that it is Cut Nyadin. Yeah, Cut Nyadin and her first husband called Ibrahim Lamnga, who was died in Gletarum, 29 of June 1878. Then Cut Nyadin continue fight with her new husband Tengku Umar. So Tengku Umar is the second husband of Cut Nyadin, and Cut Nyadin, it is said that he want to be a wife of Tengku Umar because Tengku Umar permit her to fight together with him, yeah, against colonialism. Yeah. Until then, Tengku Umar died in 11 of February 1899, and we know that the peak of the struggle of Aceh people is between 1898 to 1904, and 1904 is the last formal big movement of Islamic army. Yeah, and GB Van Hoods fight Aceh people in a very hard way by that time, and VOC create Marsus. Yeah, Marsus is a special army of Netherlands to entering forests where all Aceh leader using the forest by that time, using the forest tactic, yeah, and supported by all Aceh people, and recorded in history that in 14, 20, and 24 of June 1904, there were around 11 villages burned out. There are 2,922 died, consisting of 1773 men and 1149 women and children. And after 1904, small rebellion still happened until 1935. Until 1935. This is the Aceh War. And then now we are talking about the Padri War. Yeah, we're talking about the Padri War. The term Padri was taken from the name of Pedir Harbor in Aceh. So from this place, many Islamic scholars went to Mecca for Hajj. So many scholars went to Mecca for Hajj from this Pedir Harbor. One of the famous figure by the time is Tuanku Imam Bonjol. Yeah, and then the movement of Padri is the movement of alumni of Hajj, focused in the purification of Islam. VOC found the opportunity to fight against Padri by using the ego of local people who hold tightly customs or tradition. Yeah. So in the beginning, Padri War happened against local people, which is supported by VOC. Yeah. It is very sad to say this. Yeah. So then at the end, Tuanku Imam Bonjol was arrested in again in sneaky way by inviting for a peace agreement in October 1837, but then he was exiled to Cianjur, West Java, then exiled to Ambon, and finally in Lotak, Minahasa near Manado, and in Minahasa near Manado, in this place, and he was died 8 November 1864. And then VOC also ever using Sentot Alibasha to against them, but at the end, Sentot Alibasha even joined Padri soldiers against VOC, because now he realized that how come that I fight my brother itself in Nusantara. Also it is a Muslim. While Sentot saw how the what is it, the dress code of the Padri army. Then Sentot exiled by Netherlands to Bengkulu, and then he died there in 1855. Okay, and now we go to Batak War. Batak War. Batak War lead by Raja Sisingamangaraja 12, between 1849 to 1907. Actually, Raja Sisingamangaraja has the title Ompu Pulo Batu. Title Sisingamaraja itself was a title from clan Sinambela in Bataknis, who is stay at Bakara, who lived in Tapanuli area, Sumatra Utara, by the end of 19th century. So Raja Sisingamaraja is a small king, which only lived in Bakara. According to a historian, Muhammad Said, the supporting of Islamic kingdom Aceh Darussalam to Sisingamangaraja, because he already be a Muslim. So according to Muhammad Said, that Sri Singamangaraja already a Muslim. But according to W.C. Jabat in his book, the title is Ahu Sisingamangaraja, that is not true. His last belief still Parmalim belief. So the belief, according to the Sijabat, is not Christian, it's not Islam, it is Parmalim. A Parmalim belief is the ancestral religion. In fact, Aceh supported Sisingamangaraja against VOC, who collaborated with evangelists in North Sumatra, driven by an evangelist of German, Ludwig Ingwer Nomensen, who also opening Zending post in Silindung. So you know that even Parmalim believer do not like with the action of the evangelist. Evangelist is what is it? Is one of the missionaries of Christian, and they use the many ways to convert, Muslim people to Christian people. So this is the meaning of Zending operation. So by that time, Ludwig opening Zending post for Zending operation in Selindung. Of course, Sisingamaraja do not like it, because they have at least Parmalim belief, or who do not like this kind of spreading of Christian. And then Sisingamangaraja was died at the end after shot by VOC in the middle of the forest of Dairi, 1907, and buried at Soposurung Balige. After that, his body was moved to Tarutung. So it is good for you also to be able to visit what is it, his place. So just to know the history. Okay, and then we go to the Palembang War. The leader in Palembang War is Sultan Mahmud Badaruddin. And by that time, in Palembang War, the colonializer is Britain by that time, not Netherlands. And Britain support his younger brother, Sultan Ahmad Najamuddin. At the end, Najamuddin is exiled to Batavia, and Badaruddin also exiled to Ternate. And who smile in this case is the colonizer, is Britain. And then now we are talking about the Java War. After Sultan Agung was defeated, and after Kingdom of Mataram is divided into 4 kraton or 4 palaces, some support VOC, some still against VOC. Now, Kraton who support VOC started doing disobedience of Islam as a Muslim, such as drink khamar, opium, even killing thousands of santri and Islamic scholar because because their disobedience to the king. Pangeran Diponegoro, was the first son of Sultan Hamengkubuwono III. He was born in Yogyakarta, 11 November 1785, and studied Islam in pesantren at Tegalrejo. His struggle was called as Perang Sabil and get wide support from other areas such as Pacitan and Kedu. And there are ulama called Kiai Maja, an Islamic scholar from Surakarta, joined him in Goa Selarong. During 1925 to 1930, the loss of Netherlands, at least from the struggling of Pangeran Diponegoro, at least they lost 15,000 soldiers and 20 million gulden. So it is the big loss. And in 28th of March 1830, Diponegoro met General de Kock at Magelang. But in this negotiation, he was arrested. This is also the sneaky way. So he was arrested and then exiled to Ungaran, then to Karesidenan Semarang, to Batavia using Pollux ship. At the end, he was exiled to Manado, then to Makassar, and he died there at 8th of January 1855.
Sorry to interrupt, but you have 10 minutes remaining.
Thank you for the reminder. I continue then. We go to Banten Farmer War. So after the deletion of Kesultanan Banten by Willem Daendels, at least there were 4 big wars against Netherlands: 1850, 1888, 1626, and 1945. So we are focused to 1888, which is the war led by Haji Wasit and Jaro Kajuruan. This is the biggest war led by Haji Wasit after Haji Wasit went back from Hajj. The main aim of the movement of Banten Farmer War as general is to enforce Tawheed, Islamic law, and liberation people from any colonialism. And then we go to Banjar War. In Banjar War, there are Kesultanan Banjar. And we know here that VOC also using Devida and Emperor between the figure to replace Sultan Adam. We know there are Pangeran Tamjidullah II and Pangeran Hidayatullah. Both of them is the son of Sultan Adam. And Banjar War initiated by Pangeran Hidayatullah after his mother Ratu Siti arrested. Then he was then exiled to Cianjur. The war was continued led by Pangeran Antasari. He started by exclamation, life for Allah, died for Allah, said by Pangeran Antasari. And then Pangeran Antasari was then called Panembahan Amiruddin Khalifatul Mukminin, where he was died on age 75 because suffering from lung disease and smallpox in Tanah Kampung Bayan Begok Sampirang. His letter to Letkol Gustav Verspich in Banjarmasin, he said, bravely we said to you that we will never agree with your proposal for us to meminta ampun, dan we fight untuk menuntut hak pusaka kemerdekaan kami. So this is the very brave statement from Pangeran Antasari. So what we learn from this history, firstly, colonialism bring new culture and also new religion. The first, colonialism bring mysticism, like Kejawen in Java, Sunda Wiwitan in Sunda, etc., were more related to theosophy of westernized Jew Christian. And also colonialism bring Christianity as the impact of Kerstaining politik Kristenisasi, or gold glory gospel. Gospel, they bring their religion. So this movement deliver big impact to previously primitive belief area. So there are many area in Nusantara by that time who still has primitive belief, and the impact of Kerstaining politik is the primitive belief, such as is Indonesia, Minahasa, inland Kalimantan, inland North Sumatra. So then we know now those areas now is the biggest concentration of Christian nowadays. Jews also found here, measured by many lodges established, but not increased well. And also, of course, secularism as the foundation of liberalism and communism, which was spread through Netherlands education institution. So the institution of education bring secularism to Indonesian people. And also Islam itself getting stronger. Before they many people has Islam as their religion. After colonialism, Islam getting stronger. Why? Because Islam is the identity against colonialism. Yeah, and also in that period in 20th century, in 19th to 20th century, there are the influence of pan-Islamism. What is pan-Islamism? Pan-Islamism is the idea of unification of Islamic lands, because many lands is colonized by Catholic country, yeah, with the mission of Zending, something like that. So who state this pan-Islamism? Several of main figures are Muhammad Abduh, Muhammad Rashid Ridho, Jamaluddin Al-Afghani, which always called reformer. They create magazine Al-Urwah Al-Wusqa, means strong ties of brotherhood. In 19th century, where colonialism befall Islam lands, then Hajj moment was very important to consolidate the strength of Muslim power. The spirit which come from West Asia, then spread to Southeast Asia as well. A missionary of Christian Ponsen said, Arabia tak hanya menjadi tempat berkumpul dan bersatunya umat Islam yang naik haji pada masa itu, tapi juga tempat berkumpulnya para ahli-ahli politik dari berbagai dunia Islam untuk saling bertemu dan berembuk soal politik dan rencana mereka. Di Makkah juga mereka mengadakan konsultasi dan saling meminta nasihat, kemudian pulang dengan semangat baru untuk melawan penjajahan yang dilakukan oleh penjajah Kristen. What is the influence of pan-Islamism? The first Prime Minister of Republic Indonesia, Muhammad Natsir, said, pergerakan Islam lah yang lebih dulu membuka jalan medan politik kemerdekaan di tanah ini, yang pergerakan Islam lah yang mula-mula menanam bibit persatuan Indonesia, yang menyingkirkan sifat kepulauan dan keprovinsian, yang mula-mula menanamkan persaudaraan dengan kaum yang senasib di luar batas Indonesia dengan tali keislaman. Also, the founder of Indonesian Party, 𝙺𝚕�03 said, jika tidak karena sikap dan semangat perjuangan para ulama, sudah lama patriotisme di kalangan bangsa kita mengalami kemusnahan. I'm starting 5 minutes to talk about the SDI and GK. Who is this? Ya, SDI is Serikat Dagang Islam. Ya, Serikat Dagang Islam founded by Haji Samanhudi. Ya, Haji Samanhudi. He's alumni Hajj as well. JK stand for Jamiat Khair. Jamiat Khair is established by clan Ash-Shihab from Arab. This is, we know, the first modern school in Nusantara where adopt curriculum mathematics, history, and geography. And their class structures also very neat. It is very clear that SDI and Jamiat Khair School, established before Budi Utomo in 1908, and these two organizations teach resurrection spirit to fight against colonialism based on trade market, economy, movement, and education sector. While Budi Utomo is, as you know, Budi Utomo is established by Netherlands at 1908 to compete these two organizations. And also Netherlands established Serikat Dagang Islamiyah, nearly the same, yeah, but it is different. It is established by Netherlands, fully funded, supported by colonizer. They want to do the David and Emperor again. So Netherlands appoint Dirk van Hinlopen Laberten, Theosophy Chief Hindia Belanda, as Budi Utomo's advisor, and C.G. Faith as Serikat Dagang Islamiyah's patron. So these two organizations established by Netherlands to fight, to compete with Serikat Dagang Samanhudi and Jamiat Khair. Yeah. So Netherlands creating some fitna, yeah, some problem. SDI then was suspended due to anti-Chinese movement, which was actually, it is initiated and moved by Laskar Mangkunegara by supporting Netherlands, and the suspended and by August 1912, and the new solution established Sarekat Islam Raya, yeah, 10 September 1912, with the same motivation, fight against colonialism and communism. The leader was moved to 𝚑𝚕𝚊𝚖𝚒 If you know Kopiah, so the Kopiah ini is the translator is Haji Umar Said Cokro Aminoto. Another founder of Syarikat Islam is Abdul Muiz Haji Agus Salim. And after that, from Syarikat Dagang Islam, there are many Islamic organizations. I rank from the date of the establishment. Yeah, after Serikat Dagang Islam and Serikat Islam, there are Muhammadiyah, and then Persatuan Umat Islam (PUI), Al-Irsyad Al-Islamiyah, Persatuan Islam atau Persis, Nahdlatul Ulama in 1926, Matalul Anwar, Ittihadiyah, Persatuan Tarbiyah Islamiyah, Nahdlatul Watan, Hidayatullah, Ikatan Dai Indonesia. So that's my presentation and lecture. Thank you very much. Hopefully you understand what I mentioned today. Thank you very much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair, Ankudu, for that nice lecture about the independence and the battle between the VOC and Dutch and the people who fought for the Indonesian independence. Now, allow me to hand it over to sorry. So does anyone have any questions? If you want, you can ask them in chat, or you can raise your hand if you want to ask it directly. So while we're waiting for anyone, if they want to ask a question, can I ask a question? So my question is, what can be the lessons learned for our current generation that from the stories of these Islamic scholars in the past, and how do you think it will help us in the future?
Firstly, do not be ever to be divided by the colonizer. Yeah. So the cleverness you have, it is measured by you cannot be easily to be separated by many bad people like colonizer or something like that, because the unity of Muslim and also the unity of Indonesian people is very, very expensive. So do not ever be easily to be separated because of something that they created politically or by design, by purpose or something like that. So I think this is the main reason, because we learned this afternoon that many incident while we are fight not with Netherlands originally, but also we fight with our brother, our sister in Nusantara, yeah, and Netherlands using this likeness, yeah. So they know that there are problem with our ambition, yeah. So they use that lack for their purpose, yeah. Thank you.
There are some questions in the chat. The first one asks, I heard that Fatimura from Ambon, he is Muslim, right? But many history books claim that he's a Christian. Yeah,
Alhamdulillah, around 9 or 8 years ago, nothing coincident that I meet a people where his body is tall, from Ambon, yeah, and I said to her, I said to him, yeah, do you know Fatimura? And I asked him, yes, I know Fatimura. Who is he? He is my grandfather, he said. Yeah. So Fatimura is his grandfather. Oh, it's nothing coincident. Yeah. How come? Yes. So I'm asking to him, is it true that Fatimura is Christian? He said, no, I'm Muslim, and my father Muslim, And all of the son of Patimura, every year, yeah, every Idul Fitri, we we meet each other in the Jalan Pahlawan in Surabaya, yeah, and all of us is Muslim, so we are Muslim, yeah, we are what is it? Ahmad Matulesi, yeah, Ahmad Matulesi. So we are Muslim. We are not like people said in their book, yeah, that we are Christian. No, we are Muslim. So from this the sample that history book is depend on the writer. So when we read the history book, we read the perception or the design of the writers. So we need to be very, very aware of this matter and this kind of matter. Thank you.
So the next question asks, how's the relationship between Sultan Abdul Hamid and Indonesia?
Maybe you mean Sultan Abdul Hamid II, yeah. So Sultan Abdul Hamid II has their own problem because their what is it? Their position in Turkey is far enough from Indonesia. But yeah, Kesultanan Aceh, also Kesultanan Yogyakarta, yeah, Hamengkubuwono, they have history, yeah, they have history with Sultan Abdul Hamid II. Many history we can say it. Firstly, for example, Netherlands, after knowing that Hajj moment is a moment to consolidate between Islamic leader all over the world, then they try to what is it, to tighten the process of Hajj by increasing the price of Hajj by the time. Kesultanan Aceh write the letter to Sultan Abdul Hamid. Yeah, please help us. We cannot go to Mecca by this price from Netherlands. Yeah, so Abdul Hamid cannot help directly because they have their own problem by that time in the Usmani in Usmani country. But by that time, Sultan Abdul Hamid has the key, yeah, how to make Netherlands approve their comment. Yeah, it's related about the who is it? What is it? I'm forget. There are the first king of Netherlands, yeah, who is not related in family, in big family with UK, English, Britain, something like that. So they have the letter which is stated that if Netherlands people know this letter, the position of the king will be trouble. So they ask the embassy, the ambassador, and say that please approve any Indonesian people to go to Mecca. If not, I will bring and open this letter to media. And after that, Netherlands, what is it? Suspend the previous policy and then go back to the previous policy. And also, I'm just getting the new books from Aceh around 6 months ago with the new result, the new research result, where so many Turkish troops from Usmani, yeah, which is in the Aceh, and their body also buried in Aceh, yeah. And also there are some discussion with Yogyakarta to Turki Usmani. So many story between Sultan Abdul Hamid in Indonesia, because Sultan Abdul Hamid knew that Indonesia is very potential, a big Islamic country where previously so many Islamic kingdom here, yeah, and they are now fighting against the colonizer. So it's a part of the thought of Abdul Hamid. Yeah, thank you.
There aren't any questions so far, so if anyone wants to ask any questions in chat, you can write it, or if you want to ask a question directly, like out loud, you can raise your hand and we can unmute you. So if anyone has any questions.
I have a question, Raisa.
Okay, you can ask.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the lecture, Ustaz Wido. I want to ask about the condition, the relationship between the Islamic kingdom with the ulama. You mentioned that after the 19th century, the struggle against the colonialism was led by ulama, right? But the Islamic kingdom itself still there, right? They are not. They are still there, but supported by the Dutch colonialists, right? So when the ulama led the fight against the POC, the Dutch, what was the response from the Islamic kingdom to their people, to their ulama, and what was the relationship between the Islamic kingdom and the people and the ulama at that time?
Yeah, as I stated previously that at the end, there is no Islamic kingdom because in the administrative of the government, the Netherlands changed the position of the king to be the bupati. What is bupati in English? Yeah, under governor. Yeah, governor and bupati. Yeah, so their position not only the king but already the bupati, and their position is not in the mind of the people itself, because the people know how the king make the what is it, how come they weaken their people. Yeah, they didn't love their people. Yeah, and they work for the colonialism in just to be able to not to get loss of their position. Yeah, so people didn't like them, and that's why the Islamic scholar can easily to what is it, to lead the people for the fight this. But of course, it's I didn't say this is all Islamic kingdom, because of course there are small Islamic kingdom, but of course there are the power is not good as well. But for example, yeah, around 6 months ago, I go to the Kerajaan Siak, Kerajaan Siak in Pekanbaru. Yeah, I go to Siak Pekanbaru. Kerajaan Siak Pekanbaru still there until 1945, and this is the first kingdom, the first Islamic kingdom who give all of their gold and gulden to the Sukarno. And then because Sukarno already be a president, he said that there is no more Islamic kingdom, there is no more kingdom. I will be close the kingdom, and also this he is the last king and be the advisor of Sukarno by that time. Yeah, so at least even if there is still be Islamic kingdom, they do not have army again, which is can be the hope for the people. So that's why Islamic scholar easily bring jihad for the people. Thank you.
There's another question in chat that asks, has diplomacy always been successful in fighting against the influence of colonialism in Indonesia?
What is it? Can you repeat, please?
Has diplomacy always been successful in fighting against the influence of colonialization?
Yeah. Okay. I think there will be there is no usefulness of diplomacy if we talk to the people who has money, who has weapon, yeah, and who has power. Yeah, for them, there is only one option: you follow me or I kill you, something like that. So that's why there is no diplomacy useful in this case. Yeah, the diplomacy will be useful if between the two parties still have some bargaining aspect. Yeah, if no, then there is no importance of the diplomacy. Yeah, thank you.
There's another question that asks, please explain to us, are there a relation about colonialism fighting in Nusantara and another near area near Indonesia like Malaysia? In history, the name Nusantara is also include Malaysia, Singapore, and Thailand.
Yeah, for example, Kerajaan Siak, as I visited 6 months ago, his authority, including until Johor, yeah, until Johor Bahru, Malaysia. So by the time, we need to know to realize that nation state concept, this is the result of the colonialism. Yeah. So the colonialism, what's the result of colonialism? The nation state. Yeah, so the nation state, now there are Indonesia, there are Malaysia, there are Filipina, then and so on so forth. But before, there are no nation. So some kingdom, their authority can possibly to Singapore, to Malaysia, to Thailand, yeah, to Sarawak, yeah, yeah. So yes, previously yes, but after nation state, we now given the what is it, the border like Indonesia today, and now the border also getting smaller after Timor left. Yeah, and Timor also initiated not by Muslim. Yeah, not by Muslim, and now the new challenge for Indonesia is Papua, and Papua will they yell is to separate with Indonesia, but it's not Muslim as well, because Muslim, the idea is the unity, not separation, the unity. Yeah, so that's why I agree with what Muhammad Nasir, the first prime minister, said. Yeah, that if not Muslim, then there will be the unity in Indonesia.
So there's another question that asks, could you please explain how to deliver true history like this, especially the very fundamental role of Islam to unite Indonesia, people against traitor occupation to general students, which also consists of non.
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. I think talking about the true history in a secular university is very easy, because secular university do not talking about religion, yeah, because they open mind. Yeah, so for example, in Europe, yeah, it is common in Europe talking about the Inquisition in Dark Ages period. Yeah, talking about the problem of Catholic, problem of the Christianity. It is common in Europe talking about this. So I think deliver the true history like this will be very easily for open mind people. So, but I just to insist that history is the science which is very easily to be politicized. So you need to be very aware. You need to know who is the authorized people, where their statement is can be believed. Yeah, and then you need to check and recheck again with many sources, the true sources. But of course, if you read the common history which is coming from Netherlands, where Netherlands is the colonizer of Indonesia, Yeah, of course, you need to be aware. Yeah, so in this case, you need to know the authority of the source of knowledge. So in order you get the true information, yeah, or at least the true facts, yeah, to be believed as a student.
Does anyone else have any questions? If not, I'm going to pass it over to Uncle Sir Henry and Uncle Sigit to do the quiz.
Thank you, Raisa. Start quiznya mau dibacakan oleh Ustaz atau pakai quizzes?
Quizzes.
Ya, terima kasih. Thank you, Ustaz Yudo, for the talk and the Q&A session. Very thoughtful and give many new informations, but not like conventional informations we used to hear when we learn history in our school. Yeah, and now I would like to deliver a quiz for the participants. The questions is already given by Ustaz Wido, and let me share my screen first. You can join the quiz using your device. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. With this link and code. Anybody in the participant list can join.
Maybe you need as well to copy the link to the chat.
There's one participant join that they copy.
The link itself is in the left side.
Yeah. There are 48 participants left. Maybe we can wait about until the participants in the quiz about 35 something. Okay. Nine people joined. Waiting for someone. Yeah, Ryan. Okay, 13 people have joined. 14. I'll be waiting until at least 30 or until 11:20. There are only 3 questions. It's like multiple choice, but you can select more than one answer. You need to select more than one answers to get the question right, and the combinations of the answer should be exactly as we wanted to. The question itself is derived from Dr. Wido's talk today, and you should be able to answer it because all of the answer is in the lecture, so it should be easy to answer if you follow the lecture from the beginning. Okay, 2 more minutes. I will be waiting for the participants before I start the quiz. Pak Sigit, what is the price for the quiz?
So there will be 3 Amazon vouchers. Each will be 10 pounds sterling, right, for 3 person.
Okay. Okay. So there will be 3 Amazon vouchers for top 3 speaker, faster answer and obviously correct answer one. Yeah, and each of the voucher will be 10 pounds. So the winners, don't forget to give your email letter the chat box before you leave. Otherwise, we cannot send the voucher to you. Okay, 1 more minute to wait. I think, yeah, we cannot get at least 30 participants, so I wait for the time. Yeah, okay. I will start. All the participants ready? 3, 2, 1, start. See your device to answer the question. Okay, yeah. I think we've got the winners here. Yeah. Okay, I can't wait any longer. Okay, I should end the quiz and we've got the winners. Okay, thank you for all the participants. Yeah, these are the winners for our quiz. Sharif Hidayah, Widi, and Nurul. I think Pak Nurul can be skipped. So because Pak Nurul is KIBAR, the organizer of this event, so the winner will be Sharif Hidayah, Widi, and Hilma. Yeah, Hilma, our Korea today. Yeah. Don't forget to give your email on the chat, Sharif Hidayah, Widi, and Hilma.
Can we look at the question? So Henry,
oh yeah,
the
when maybe we can
Uh-huh.
review the question. Yeah, there are 3 questions. I think what makes many people mistakenly choose the answer because we need to read the instructions, like select 2 organizations. So at least you choose the 2 correct organizations, you will not get the correct answer. So the first question is about Syarikat Dagang Islam and 𝚑𝚒𝚕𝚊𝚖𝚒, as mentioned by Dr. Wido just this morning. Yeah. So if you just choose one, you cannot get the correct answer. And then the second question, this first question is about 2 organizations that organized the struggle for independence of the Republic of Indonesia. Among the first were Syarikat Dagang Islam and 𝚑𝚒𝚕𝚊𝚖𝚒. And the second question is the 3 wars in which Indonesian Muslims fight against their own brother. Should choose 3 and should choose the correct 3. Diponegoro War, Padri War, and Singamangaraja War. Yeah, should choose 3 of them. You can just choose 2 or 1. And then the third question mentioned 3 scholars that called for pan-Islamism. And the answer is Muhammad Abduh, Rashid Ridho, and Jamaluddin Al-Afghani, as mentioned in the lecture. So you also should choose 3. That's all the questions, and we have got the winner. Sharif Hidayah, Hilma, and one Widi. Can you type your email in the chat box, please? That's all for the quiz from me. Thank you for your participation. And congrats to the winner, and wait for the prize to be sent by KIBAR. Thank you.
Right.
Bye-bye.
We're still waiting for the other 2, Sharif Hidayah and Widi, for the email. Could you please send me?
Sudah kayaknya, sudah ada.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So I got Hilma. Right.
Sudah ke saya, direct.
Okay, thank you. Right. So that's all, Pak Suhendri.
Thank you everybody for joining us today, and Jazakallah khair to Uncle Wido and everybody who participated and helped, and congratulations to the winner. So we're going to close now. Subhanakallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha sorry, let me start. Kallahumma wa bihamdika ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam. Jazakallah khair, Raisa Adiani. Very good speech. Yeah. Barakallahu fiik. Jazakallah Ustaz Suhendri, Ustaz Sigit, Bapak Ibu semuanya. Sampai ketemu kembali offline.
Thank you for your
Very
speech.
good. Oh iya, Ustaz Nanang, a good trainer.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Nice inspiration.
Yeah. Permission to left. Assalamualaikum.
Waalaikumsalam. Terima kasih.
Waalaikumsalam.
Thank you to all.
Sama-sama, Ustaz. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Terima kasih, Raisa. Thank you, Raisa and Hilma. Waalaikumsalam.